Hey, it's Jeff Johnson. Thanks for stopping by the channel. And I want to tell you this is going to be a little bit different video. We're going to talk about vacation. And you may be wondering, well, what does that have to do with cancer? Well, you go through cancer, you go through cancer treatment, you recover from cancer treatment, which is pretty much a lifelong process, which hopefully will eventually include getting to go on vacation. And I will tell you that if you're like most cancer survivors, if you sit down and try to plan exactly the kind of vacations that you went on before you went through your treatment and your recovery, that you're going to run into some hurdles and some roadblocks. Everybody has different side effects. Everybody's situation is different, but this is kind of what we did to accommodate my side effects and the issues that I deal with cancer. Now, it really doesn't matter if you're one of those people who wants to go to a cabin in the mountains, or if you're the beach kind of person, or maybe you're the lake person who wants to be out in the boat, or if you're interested in the shows and the flash and concerts and that kind of thing. You can still go on vacation with many of the side effects that head and neck cancer patients deal with. We chose to go to Branson, Missouri. We've been there several times in the past. My parents actually started taking me to Branson when I was a young child, right before I became a teenager. I'm 54 years old now, so I have about a 35 or 40-year history of visiting Branson and watching it grow from a two-lane road down the middle of the strip to this small version of Las Vegas without all the bad stuff. That has Branson's just an amazing place. And so wanted to tell you a little bit about what we did. Now, point of clarification, we did not receive anything for free. We did not receive any kind of deals or anything for me to do this. There are no affiliate links. I'm just sharing with you, this is how we coped with going on vacation and enjoying time together as a family with the limitations that are placed on me by the side effects of my cancer treatment. So, we stayed at the Holiday Hills Resort and Golf Club. We found this on Airbnb. Really nice place. It was very comfortable. It was a two-bedroom condo. We had our 13-year-old daughter and one of her friends with us. So they had a bedroom and a bathroom on one side of the condo. We had a bedroom and a bathroom on the other side of the condo that apparently was behind a giggle-proof wall because we were actually able to sleep. But it was a really great place. It is a little far out of Branson. You're not going to walk to the shows or anything like that. You do have to drive. But if you've ever been to Branson before, one thing you'll find there is even when the traffic is really, really busy, you're dealing with some of the most polite drivers in the world, so traffic's really not that bad. We have in the past stayed at a place called the Grand Country Resort, which is right there on the strip in the middle of everything in Branson. We really like the Grand Country Resort. It's more like a hotel. You do have room service. There is a pool and a water park and an arcade and a restaurant and a theater where they have various musical shows right there on the property. If you are physically limited, for instance, if you have to use a wheelchair or a walker, the Grand Country Resort would be a great place to stay simply because you can do a little bit of everything there. You can shop, you can sit in the pool, you can watch shows, you can take your kids to the arcade, and everybody can have a good time. And if you want to, theoretically, you would not have to drive anywhere else. You could spend 2 or 3 days there and have a really nice short vacation and say you've been to Branson. There's a whole lot more to do in Branson than that. The first thing I would suggest to you is the attractions. There are lots of them. Things like the Hollywood Wax Museum. This is an amazing wax museum that would rival the quality of the Tussauds wax museums. The Titanic Branson Exhibit. Most of the artifacts from the Titanic that are on public display around the world are actually at the Titanic Exhibit in Branson. Branson also has one of the tallest Ferris wheels, I believe, in the United States, maybe in North America, but it is the former Navy Pier Ferris wheel from Chicago. And I will tell you, if you do this, go in the daytime and then go back at night because it's a totally different view. This time we went when it was nighttime, and it's just an amazing view. You can see all the lights, the whole strip. Really an enjoyable experience, and other than standing in line, not physically taxing at all. Now, the Hollywood Wax Museum and the Titanic Museum, you are going to walk quite a bit, but you're inside, out of the sun. It is air conditioned. If you go in the winter, it's heated, and it is wheelchair accessible. I walk with a cane some when I'm going to be standing for a long period of time or walking for a long period of time or a great distance. I use a cane and no trouble getting around in any of these locations. The next thing we want to talk about is the shows in Branson. Branson is known for its shows. It has been referred to as the country music live show capital of the world, but that's not all that's there. There's much more than country music. We actually did not see a single thing this time that revolved around country music. We went to see the Acrobats of Shanghai. This is an amazing acrobatic performance that lasts like 2.5 hours, and it's just one act after another of amazing feats of you're just like biting your fingernails going, are they going to fall or are they going to drop it or whatever like that. Really entertaining. My 13-year-old daughter, our 13-year-old daughter, didn't really want to go see this show. She really was kind of, like this when we were in the lobby waiting to go in. Once the show started, she spent most of the time like this, just amazed at what they were doing. So really fun show. And again, if you're not into country music, there's a lot to do. We saw Shrek the Musical. It's currently playing at the Lawrence Welk Resort and Theater there. The Welk resorts have two venues. There's one on the Strip, and the resort is a little bit off the Strip. This is out at the resort. 5-10 minute drive maybe at the most from the Strip. Incredible quality production. The sound, the lights, the sets, the makeup, everything was just fantastic. And this was made even better by the fact that our 13-year-old daughter had recently appeared in Shrek Jr. the musical in our local civic theater here in the town where we live. And so she was super excited to go see this. This is Samson at the Sight and Sound Theater, and I want to brag on Sight and Sound Theaters. There are two. One is in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. The other one is in Branson, Missouri. We've been to both. And the Sight and Sound Theaters are the largest indoor theater in the round-ish in North America, I believe, at least in the United States for sure. They are huge. We saw Noah in Branson when it was being shown there. This is a Christian venue, and they do biblically based productions, but the quality is just off the charts. You would not believe. When we saw Noah, the person who did the animatronic animals, some of the animals that are in the show that are on the ark or coming to the ark are live animals. They have camels, they have horses, they have pigs and cows and goats and whatever else. Some of the animals, the larger animals or the wild animals, were animatronics. The person who did the animatronic animals for the Noah show at Sight and Sound was hired away from the Disney Corporation to do those animatronic animals. It's literally amazing. And to tell you just how big it is, give me just a second, I apologize. It's, the dry mouth. The show for Noah is divided into two acts. And the first act is everything leading up to the flood. And the second act, the curtain opens, and it's a huge stage. I mean, you can kind of tell there that the size of the people and the size of the set, it's a very large stage. That's actually a close-up of about half of the width of the stage. And so the curtain opens, and it 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 keeps opening. And then it starts opening down the side. And you realize that you are inside the ark for the second act of the production. Noah's coming back next year. So if you go to Branson next year, you can see it at Sight and Sound Theater there in Branson. Next year, right now, Samson is showing. It was an amazing show as well. These are Broadway quality technical productions, not even off Broadway. These are Broadway quality technical productions with professional actors and actresses. They are amazing shows. Even if you are not a Christian, even if you just kind of have a passing interest in Bible stories and think, I wonder what that's about, this is just an amazing show, and I would strongly encourage you to go see it. Samson at the Sight and Sound Theater in Branson. And let's talk about dinner shows. We have seen Dolly Parton's Stampede. This is similar to if you've ever been to medieval times. It's a very similar theme where there are horses and other animals, but primarily horses that are involved in the show, and there's mock combat between one side and the other. In the case of the Dolly Parton Stampede, it's between the North and the South, the medieval, I don't remember how they did it at medieval times, but you can tell, again, the size of the venue, and they just serve an incredible meal. And the fact that they can serve the number of people, the quality of food that they serve as quickly as they do is just, it's almost as impressive as the show. And I will tell you this, finally, they're giving you a fork. Forever and ever and ever. I think we'd been to Dolly Parton Stampede 2 or 3 times, and to medieval times once, and you had to eat with your hands, and you're just like, yeah, there are not enough wet wipes in the world to get all this off my hands and out from under my fingernails. They finally are giving you forks now at Dolly Parton Stampede. So it was an amazing show. In the past, we have been to the Branson Belle. This is a lunch or dinner cruise. I would strongly recommend going on the dinner cruise. The lake is beautiful at night. It's beautiful in the daytime too. This cruise starts out early enough in the evening that you can see the shoreline and the trees and the mountains and everything. And then as it gets dark, the lights come on, and it's just incredibly gorgeous. The show is great. The food is great. It's a really fun experience. And this is a super safe vessel. It's a large vessel. You don't feel like you're on a boat. You don't feel rocking. You don't feel like you're going to fall down. You don't feel it necessarily moving in the water so much. It's just a neat experience. Okay, so have some tips. And again, these are based on my experience, my side effects. This is what I would recommend. This might not apply to you. If it's helpful, great. If it's not, hey, thanks for watching the video. Stay at a condo or an all-inclusive resort, not just a regular hotel, for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's Branson. It's a unique experience. There are a lot of condominiums that you can rent on Airbnb and get really good deals if you watch and you pay attention. There are a lot of neat resorts like the Grand Country Resort that have a different feel to them than just staying in a hotel. Nothing wrong with hotels. If that's your thing, stay there. But we have really enjoyed either staying in a condo and particularly really enjoyed staying at the Grand Country Resort. Go to the attractions, things like the Wax Museum, the Titanic, those kinds of things, in the late morning and early afternoon. Why? Because if you're going on vacation in the summer in Branson, it's hot. Now, it's not as hot as it is here in Texas, but it still does get quite warm. The first couple of days we were there, it wasn't bad. It was in the upper 70s, and there wasn't extreme humidity. It was really comfortable. The second couple of days we were there, it got up into the high 90s, and the humidity went up, and it was really nice to be inside in the heat of the day. Go to the shows in the afternoon when it's really hot. Your show's going to be an hour and 45 minutes to 2.5 hours. You can get inside, be seated, and enjoy a show while it's at the hottest outside. Okay, take advantage of that opportunity. Go to the dinner shows and cruises in the evening. Those will start early enough, especially the dinner cruise, that you can enjoy the daytime view of the lake, but it continues into the nighttime when it gets dark and you can see all the lights and everything like that. And finally, plan downtime throughout your day. Now, I know this may seem silly to tell you this, you know this, but we intentionally planned, okay, we're going to do this attraction, then we're going to go here and eat, then we're either going to go back to the condo and rest, or we're going to get to the next thing we're going to do early enough that we can stay in the car and rest. And then we will go in and do the afternoon show or whatever it is that we had planned for the afternoon evening. Okay. Even just like when we went to see Shrek, we ate our lunch, then we went to the show for Shrek, and we sat in the car for 30, 45 minutes. I took a little nap. That was enough that it was not just completely physically exhausting to do 2 or even 3 things, major things, during the day with a vacation. It would be very easy to overplan and to try to cram in as much as you can, and you're not going to enjoy it. And if you're like me, I'm dealing with fatigue because I've got some heart issues as a result of the chemotherapy, and you're going to run out of energy. You're going to get grumpy. Nobody's going to want to be around you, and congratulations, cancer ruins your vacation. Don't let cancer ruin your vacation. work around it, plan around it, give yourself some downtime. Overall, I think everybody had a great time on the vacation. I would highly recommend Branson, Missouri. No slight to Las Vegas. I made a little joke earlier. We've been to Vegas before. We enjoyed it. I would not take my 13-year-old daughter there right now. Maybe when she's 17 or 18, we might go. But right now, I just think that's more of kind of an adult venue. And Branson is more of a family venue. There's nothing you're going to have to worry about your kids seeing in Branson. Nobody's going to hand them anything on the street that you're going to go, "Ugh, I don't want my child to see that." It's just a really, really neat place. And again, one of the amazing things about Branson, this is a town of about 10 or 11,000 people that may have 50 to 100 plus thousand people in it at any given time when the tourist season is at its peak, maybe more than that. And the drivers are just incredibly polite. You will see the zipper pattern every time a show lets out. When the traffic is really busy on the Branson Strip and a show is letting out and cars are trying to get out of the parking lot from the show, one car will go on the highway, they'll let somebody out of the parking lot. One car will go on the highway, they'll let somebody out of the parking lot. And they'll do that. And in 5 or 10 minutes, that parking lot that had 500 cars in it will be empty. It's just amazing to watch it happen. People are super friendly. They're helpful. You can stop and ask anybody for directions. If they don't know, they'll probably tell you someone who does or point you to someone who does. Just highly, highly recommend Branson, Missouri for a family vacation. And I hope this has been helpful. This is not, my typical video. Normally I'm talking about side effects and medical updates and things of that nature. But I just wanted to share this with you because I know this is something that we had to think about, what can we do on vacation with the physical limitations that I have right now, and what would still be fun. And so if you are dealing with the side effects of cancer treatment and you have enough energy to go for a little bit rest, and you like music, theater, entertainment, rides, games, pretty much anything like that you want to do, Branson, Missouri is a great place to visit. So thanks for watching the video. As always, I welcome your comments and questions. I am not a medical professional and I don't want to play one on YouTube. So if you ask me for medical advice, I will say, talk to the folks at MD Anderson. They're the ones that saved my life. But if you want to know about my experience, I'll be happy to share that and answer any questions I can. Thanks again for watching the video. God bless.